Namaste children, welcome to Mahatma Gandhi Vidyalaya. I am Revati, your math teacher. Let's start today's session with a puzzle. Children, here is your today's puzzle. I am reading the question now. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. 5 plus 3 is equal to 15. 2 plus 6 is equal to 23. Then what is 4 plus 7? See children, can you solve this puzzle? You try. And now I am going to help you to find the solution of this puzzle. All of you be ready. Okay children, now let's start. Here at first we have 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Is this correct answer only? No? Yes, 3 plus 4 is 7 only is the correct answer. In the next one, 5 plus 3 is equal to, what is 5 plus 3? 5 plus 3 is 8. But instead of 8, they have written here 15. Why? Children, you think that this is a puzzle. This is not normal addition. They have followed some pattern in this puzzle. Okay. First, we should identify the pattern. Then we have to proceed our answer. Okay. Now let us find the pattern. Okay. Next one, 2 plus 6 equal to, what will be the answer? 8. But they have written 23. Okay. Let's think what is the pattern. Here I found the pattern. I will explain what is the pattern followed here. Okay. See children, in the first one 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. In the second one 5 plus 3 is 8. If you add 8 and 7, you will get 15. Okay. Similarly, in the third one 2 plus 6 is 8. What is the previous answer? Now 15. So if you add 15 and 8, you will get 23. So similarly, we have to find the value of 4 plus 7. What is the sum of 4 and 7? 4 plus 7 is 11. If you add 11 with the previous answer 23, what is the answer will be? 34. 4 plus 7 is 34. Do you understand children? Children, in today's session, we are going to discuss about rounding numbers and Roman numerals. At first, we are going to learn about rounding of numbers. In this, we are going to round off the numbers to the nearest 10, nearest 100, nearest 1000. See here, while rounding the numbers to the nearest 10, we have to round off the numbers to the closest multiple of 10. When we are rounding the numbers to the nearest 100, we have to round off the numbers to the closest multiple of 100. When we are rounding the numbers to the nearest 1000, we have to round off to the closest multiple of 1000. Multiple is nothing but that is the multiplication table only. You know 10 table, no? Similarly, you can form 100 table and thousands table. It's very simple, you know children. Yes, just adding the zeros at the end of the numbers. For 10, you will add 1 0. For 100, you will add 2 zeros. For 1000, 3 zeros. Children, there are certain rules to be followed while rounding of the given numbers. Okay. We are going to learn the rules to be followed while rounding of the numbers. Okay. First rule. Rule number 1 is find the rounding digit. Find the rounding digit. Okay. How to find the rounding digit? Now I will teach you that. Okay, when we are rounding the numbers to the nearest 10, the digit at the tens place is the rounding digit. When we are rounding the number to the nearest 100, the digit in the hundreds place is the rounding digit. When we are rounding the numbers to the nearest 1000, the digit in the thousands place is the rounding digit. After finding the rounding digit, as per the rule number 1, we should move just to the right of the rounding digit according to the rule number 2. So if the digit just to the right of the rounding digit is 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, we should keep the rounding digit as it is and then change all the digits to the right of the rounding digit to 0. If the digit to the right of the rounding digit is not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, we should move to the rule number 3. That is, if the digit to the right of the rounding digit is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we should add 1 with the rounding digit and then change all the places to the right of the rounding digit to 0. Simply, we can combine rule number 2 and 3. If the digit to the right of the rounding digit is less than 5, keep as it is. More than 5 or equal to 5, add 1 with the rounding digit. Now, we are going to apply these rules to solve the problems. Okay, here is your example. In the first example, we are going to round off the numbers to the nearest 10. Now, let us consider the first question. In that, the given number is 29. We are going to round off the number 29 to the nearest 10. See now, according to the rule number, let us find the rounding digit. It is at the tens place, since we are going to round off the numbers to the nearest 10. So that the rounding digit in this number is 2. Okay. What is the digit to the right of the digit? To the right of the rounding digit? It is 9. 9 is more than 5. So we should add 1 with the rounding digit. So it becomes 3. And then change all the digits to the right of the rounding digit as 0. Here, if we change that, we will get answer 30. So 29 is rounded off to the nearest 10 is 30. Okay. What is the next example? It is 41. Here also let us find the rounding digit. It is 4. To the right of 4 we have 1 which is lesser than 5. So we have to keep the rounding digit 4 as it is and change all the digits to the right of the rounding digit as 0. So what will be your answer? 41 rounded off to the nearest 10 is 40. Children, this is your next example. In this example, we are going to learn how to round off the numbers to the nearest 100. Okay, here is your number 192. We are going to round off this number to the nearest 100. For that, let us find the rounding digit which is at the hundreds place, as we are going to round off the number to the nearest 100. The rounding digit is 1. The digit to the right of the rounding digit is 9 which is greater than 5. So that we have to add 1 with the rounding digit. So if you add 1 with the rounding digit, it becomes 2. The remaining places we have to change as 0. So what is your rounding number? That is 192 is rounded off to the nearest 100 is 200. Now here is your another example. Let us consider 419. We are going to round off this to the nearest 100. So let us find the rounding digit. It is at the hundreds place. The rounding digit is 4. So to the right of the 4 we have 1. It is less than 5. So we should keep the rounding digit as it is and then change the remaining places 0. So write 4 as it is, the remaining places change it as 0. So that nearest 100 is 400. 419 is rounded off to the nearest 100 is 400. Here now we are going to round off the numbers to the nearest 1000. Okay. We are going to follow the same rules for rounding of the numbers to the nearest 1000 also. Let us consider 5345. Here let us find the rounding digit. What is the rounding digit here? It is at the thousands place. Since we are rounding to the nearest 1000, the rounding digit at the thousands place. It is 5. What is the digit to the right of the rounding digit? That is 3. It is lesser than 5. So that we have to keep the rounding digit as it is and change all the places to the right of the rounding digit as 0. So we have to keep 5 as it is and the remaining 3 places 0. So your answer is 5000. 5345 is rounded off to the nearest thousand is 5000. Next example is 1849. In this we have to find out the rounding digit. It is at the thousands place, that the rounding digit is 1. Okay. See, next right of the rounding digit we have 8. It is greater than 5. So we have to add 1 with the rounding digit. So 1 becomes now 2. After adding 1 with the rounding digit, change the remaining places as 0. Now we get 2000 as the answer. So 1849 is rounded off to the nearest thousand is 2000. Children, 1849 is rounded off to the nearest thousand is 2000 is the correct answer. Here by mistake it is given as 1000. There is a mistake in typing. Sorry for the mistake. Please change it. Answer is 2000 only. Again I am saying change the correct answer. Okay. 1849 is rounded off to the nearest thousand is 2000 is the correct answer. Now I think all of you understood very well the rules of the rounding of numbers to the nearest 10, 100, 1000. Here is your another example, children. Let us consider 4569. We are going to round off this number to the nearest 10. So let us find the rounding digit. The rounding digit is 6 since it is in tens place. So the digit to the right of the rounding digit is 9. It is greater than 5. So we have to add 1 with the rounding digit. If you add 1 with 6, you will get 7. And then replace the digit to the right of 6 as 0. To the right side only you have to replace, not to the left side of the rounding digit. So your answer is 4570 is the rounded off number. Now another example, 12659. We have to round off this number to the nearest 100. As usual, find the rounding digit which is at the hundreds place, as we are rounding the numbers to the nearest 100. So 6 is the rounding digit. To the right of the rounding digit we have 5. It is exactly 5 also. We should add 1 with the rounding digit. If you add 1 with the rounding digit, it becomes 7. So to the left of the rounding digit we should keep as it is. To the right of the rounding digit we should change as 0. Now the answer is 12,700. Here is your third example. In this we are going to round off the number 1,48,396 to the nearest thousand. It's a very big number, no? Anyway, we have to apply the same rules. Okay. Here the number is 1,48,396. As we are rounding the numbers to the nearest thousand, the rounding digit is at the thousands place. It is 8. The digit to the right of the rounding digit is 3, which is lesser than 5. So we should keep the rounding digit as it is and change the digit to the right as 0. So 1,48,396 is rounded off to the nearest thousand as 1,48,000. Next, we are going to learn about Roman numerals. Children, do you know in our country we are using the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. They are called Indo-Arabic numerals. But in Roman, the people are using 7 letters I, V, X, L, C, D, M as their numerals. These letters are called Roman numerals. They are using it to represent the numbers. Okay. I represent 1, V represent 5, X represent 10, L represent 50, C represent 100, D represent 500, M represent 1000. But there are no zeros in Roman numerals. Okay, they are using these combination of letters to represent the numerals. Children, there are some rules to form a Roman numerals. Okay, here the rule number 1 is repetition of a Roman numeral means addition. That is, if we repeat any Roman numeral, we should add their value. For example, here I have repeated the letter I 2 times. I. The value of I is 1. So, 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay. The value of X is 10. If I repeat the value 3 times, then 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. Okay. Next, the value of C is 100. If I repeat 2 times, the value is 100 plus 100, 200. If I repeat 3 times, the value is 100 plus 100 plus 100, 300. Next, the value of the letter M is 1000. If I repeat 3 times, the value is 3000. That is M means the value is 3000. But we cannot repeat all the 7 letters, children. Only these 4 letters can be repeated. We cannot repeat V, L, D. Okay. Keep it in mind. These 3 letters we cannot repeat. Repetition also only up to 3 times. More than 3 times we cannot repeat any of the letters. Okay. Keep it in mind. Okay. Again I am saying, children, I, X, C, M. These 4 letters can be repeated up to 3 times. But V, L, D cannot be repeated. I think now you understood the rule number 1 very well. Next, shall we go to the rule number 2? Now, the rule number 2 is a smaller numeral is written to the right of the greater numeral is always added to the greater numeral. For example, V is the greater numeral, I is the smaller numeral. Smaller numeral is to the right of the greater numeral. So, we have to add the value of I to the greatest value, that is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. Understood? Here is another example. X, I. Here X repeated 2 times, so 20 is the value. I repeated 3 times, so 3 is the value. Here also a smaller numeral followed by a greater numeral. So we have to add the values. So 20 plus 3 is 23. In the next example also, X repeated 3 times, so its value 30, and V means 5. Next, I repeated 3 times. So here also we have to add as we are having the numbers from greater to smallest. So that if we add, we will get 38. Children, if the letters are arranged in descending order, you have to add their value. This is the rule number 2. Simply we can say, if the letters are arranged in descending order, we have to add their value. You know what do you mean by descending order? The greatest to smallest. Now the rule number 3, it is the opposite of rule number 2. In rule number 2, we have added the smaller value to the greatest value. Okay. But in rule number 3, we will subtract the smaller value from the greatest value. That is, if the letters are arranged in ascending order means smaller number to bigger number, then we will subtract the smaller value from the greater value. Here is your example. V. I is the smaller value 1, V is the bigger value 5. So we have to subtract. 5 minus 1 is 4. Next one, XL. X stands for 10, L stands for 50. So 50 minus 10 is 40. So, rule number 3 is a smaller numeral written to the left of the greater numeral is always subtracted from the greater numeral. Now, the rule number 4 is when a smaller numeral is placed between the two greater numerals is always subtracted from the greater numeral just after it. After subtracting the smaller value from the greater numeral just after it, we have to add the values with the numeral just before the smaller numeral. Here is your example, children. X, X, I, V. Here X repeated 2 times, so its value 20. The value of I 1. The value of V is 5. Okay. Now I is placed between the greater values, two greater values. So we have to subtract the value of I from V. After subtracting, we have 4. Now we have to add with 20, that is 24 is your answer. Here is your another example, L, I, X. Here also I placed between L and X. If you subtract 1 from 10, you get 9. Then you have to add 9 with L. So that your answer is 59. L stands for 50. So 50 plus 9 is 59. Children, this is a chart. It shows the Roman numerals from 1 to 50. All of you copy it in your homework note. Children, now you understood the Roman numerals and rounding of numbers very well. Now the time for recapitulation. Here is your first question. What is the nearest 1000 to 12,365? It is 12,000. You check with the rules. And then what is the rounding digit in 14,587 when we rounding off to the nearest 100? How do you find the rounding digit? It is at hundreds place. That is 5 is the answer. Next, what is the nearest 10 to 99,999? It is 1 lakh. Children, today I have given 2 assignments. Complete and practice well. Thank you, children.